Good morning, Unity in the Seven Hills, and Happy New Year to you. Let's stand and sing. Let's get this new year started off just right. Step into the light and welcome home. The ball of life's a stage that we must play our part. Lift your head up from the page, a message from the heart. It's only in the light you see that you can become who you're meant to be. So step into the light and welcome home. I see joy upon your face. It makes our future bright when each has found their place and together we take flight. It's only in the light you see that you can become who you're meant to be. So step into the light and welcome home. Let's sing a song of peace. Let's sing a song of joy. Every woman, every man, every girl and every boy. If all of life's a stage, we must play our part. Lift your head up from the page, get a message from the heart. It's only in the light you see that you can become who you're meant to be. So step into the light and welcome. Let's sing a song of peace. Let's sing a song of joy. Every woman, every man, every girl and every boy. I see joy upon your face. It makes our future bright when each has found their place. Together we take flight. It's only in the light you see that you can become who you're meant to be. So step into the light and welcome home. It's only in the light you see that you can become who you're meant to be. So step into the light and welcome home. Step into the light and welcome home. I am free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited, right now, right now. I am free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited, right now, right now. I am free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited, right now, right now. I am free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited, right now, right now. One more time. I'm free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited, right now, right now. I am free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited, right now, right now. So there you go, that's an old classic. Here's a new classic to be. This is a call and response, so what I want you to do is copy me, after me. Benjamin's going to be singing your part as well. Now, he's playing the guitar, so help him along now. I am a light, I am a light in this world, in this world. I am a light, I am a light, am a light in this world, in this world. This is the place, this is the time, this is the time. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine. I see the joy. I see the joy in this world. In this world. I see the joy. I see the joy in this world, in this world. This is the place, this is the time, this is the time. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I live in love every day, live in love every day. I live in love every day, I live in love every day. I live in love every day, I live in love every day. Spreading peace along the way, spreading peace along the way. Right time, right place, live in love every day. We are a light, we are a light in this world, in this world. We are a light, we are a light in this world, in this world. This is the place, this is the time, this is the time. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This is the place, this is the time. Let it shine, let it shine. This is the place, this is the time. Let it shine, let it shine. Woo.
Unity Band. Good morning, Unity in the Seven Hills. I got this from one of my kids as a Christmas present. It says, Pastor, warning, anything you say or do could be used in a sermon. So let's start out by blessing that unity candle with that great affirmation. There's only one presence in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. Wonderful story, and it's really going to tie in, I think, with the Whitestone Ceremony, which we're going to be doing today. It's by a woman by the name of Jan Schaefer. She lives in Baxter Springs, Kansas. My first church was in Tulsa. Baxter Springs is 100 miles northeast of Tulsa. So anyway, she was going to have a big party at her house, and she looks in the dining room. Oh my goodness. She looks and she sees, oh my God, this is a blotch which really needs repainting. Ugh. And she wants it to be really nice. So she goes downstairs, and boy, oh boy, she's like Sherman-Williams, paint cans and all lined up in alphabetical order and everything else like that. And she's looking, and there's the seagrass paint, and there is the aquamarine, this, that, and the other. She's looking for a Princess Anne lace paint. Princess Anne, and she doesn't, she does not see the can. She's thinking, we must have run out, I didn't reorder, or whatever. So there's that on the wall. I mean, nobody's perfect. She turns and she's heading up the stairs when she hears what she calls that still small voice, and it says to her, turn around and take another look. She went back down the stairs. She moved the paint of grenadine, and there, out of alphabetical order, I point out, was Princess Anne lace paint, and there was the paint can. Wow, she takes it up. She's walking back up the steps, and she says, I really felt very happy to find it, but not because I just found the paint, because even with all the bigger things in the world, wars and famines and everything that needs attention in this world, Spirit had taken time to help me find Princess Anne lace paint. And she said she really felt it was like Spirit saying to her, if it's important to you, then it's important to me. And she writes, no one else might care about the freshly painted woodwork in my dining room, but I cared. And because I cared, so did God care. So did God care. As we go through the Whitestone ceremony, and I will be explaining it more in detail, you know, it may seem with all that's going on in the universe and this multiverse and everything else like that, did Spirit really have time to send me a word or power? And the answer is yes. If it matters to you, it matters to Spirit. Jesus said that, talked about a God who knows how many hairs on your head are on your head. And I was thinking, when I read that, I was adopted, and if I were genetically in my family, I mean, I've always been accepted as a first-class citizen, but if genetically, most of them tend to be bald. It would be a lot easier for God to count the hairs on my head. But, that's the kind of Spirit we are dealing with. Who cares? If it matters to us, it matters to God. Despite everything that's going on in this world, getting it right with the Whitestone ceremony for you, that matters to Spirit, and it honestly really does. Let's go into prayer a moment. Dear Spirit, thank you for a Spirit that really honestly does want to communicate with us. Thank you that we live in a times where the age of miracles is not past. Thank you that we are truly one with the One. And in an era where communication flows, even to find a can of Princess Anne paint. And for this and so much more, we say thank you and amen and amen. Each week we go through one of Unity's 5 basic principles. And this week we are on the third principle. Let's remind us how we get to the third principle. The first is very much what we said over here about, Albert Einstein's basic question, do we live in a harsh universe or do we live in a supportive universe? And Einstein said he prefers very much to go with we live in a supportive and nurturing universe. And I would totally agree with that. One presence, one power, a God who is not about to zap us, a God who is, there to help us grow, and realizes that for a lot of us, me included, it's going to take several rides on the merry-go-round before, all this comes together. The second is, and this is the incredible second unity principle, that, there's this one presence, one power, but it's also inside of us. That divine spark is inside of us. And, when we can sense that is who we really are. Not our fears, not our worries, not the mistake we made in 1992 or whatever. That is, we call it the Christ within, the hope of glory. It's been called by many different names: Buddha nature, Atman, Hashem, higher power, higher self. Aldous Huxley called it the perennial philosophy. Call it what you will. We call it the Christ within. But it is that essence of who we really are. And then we get to the third unity principle, and that, essence that our thoughts are, that old unity song, our thoughts have prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. I don't know. I mean, and I'll be talking more about this in the Whitestone ceremony. It was almost like, I hate to give a crummy football analogy, but, I would get the ball and I would get it down to the 5-yard line and I'd invariably fumble it. Because I couldn't view myself getting the ball in the end zone, as it were. And this, Eric Butterworth, he said he ran into many people who said they don't have faith, and he said that's nonsense. You have faith. Unfortunately, you have faith in the negative. Turn it around to faith in the positive. To see that possibility thinking, to be able to see yourself getting, as it were, the ball into the end zone, and so. Our thoughts are so powerful. There's a reason why they call this New Thought movement. Our thoughts are so our thoughts are so powerful. And when we can start to realize that and start to turn our thoughts around, then things can start to flow into our lives a lot of times beyond our wildest dreams. Why don't we say this unity third? This is one way of saying it. I love the way it's said here. Why don't we say it together? Thoughts have creative powers to determine events and to attract experiences. It really does. It really, honestly, truly does. You know how, somebody's trying to sell you something, ask me how or whatever. I mean, seriously, we're going to be going downstairs for, a wonderful potluck celebration. I mean, ask me sometime. I have tons of stories of people who have gone through this process and turned their thoughts around, and incredible things have really started to flow and happen into their lives. So that third principle, honestly, truly is true. One of the things which we have really seen turn around here is our youth and family ministry program. Thank you, Crystal, for all that we can't thank you enough. The other is, she's a woman of incredible talents. One of them is, speaking of Queen Anne's lace and painting and all that, incredible painting. She has painted downstairs, the painting downstairs in the kids' room. Take a look and see the changes that have happened there. So let's bless our kids and send them off, and they will be back at the end of the service telling us what they did. Let's say that prayer together. You are a perfect child of God, and God and I love you just the way you are, and wherever you are.
Let's stand and sing. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more time. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Thank you. Be seated, please. The power of thoughts. Look at this band that we have up here. Wow. Daniel started expressing thoughts about having a band, and the next thing you know, we almost have 76 trombones leading a big parade. Let's affirm our mission statement together. Unity in the Seven Hills is a vibrant, inclusive community that inspires individual spiritual growth through education, prayer, heart connection, and sacred service. And let's also affirm our vision statement. Centered in spirit, we see a world transformed by divine love, where innovative solutions are celebrated and all our needs are met. I've asked Peg to come on up and read today's daily word. Testing. Hold on, we're going to get this. There we go. I'll talk into it. There we go.
Good to go. Good morning. So, Reverend Rick was talking about being one with the one, and that fits right in with today's word, which is wholeness. Wholeness is my nature and the truth of my life. I see myself whole, complete, and as a living expression of God. My thoughts fill my consciousness with a divine idea of wholeness. My words affirm this wholeness. Through my actions, I bless the life energy in my body with a right balance of exercise, rest, and nutrition. I live from my wholeness even if I experience illness. I may receive treatment, but I don't consider myself weak or diseased. I move through every health challenge with faith and grace, trusting the experience has come to pass. I remember wherever I am, whatever may be happening, divine life is always seeking to express through me, to restore my awareness of wholeness, which is and will always be my true spiritual state of being. And from Luke, your eye is the lamp of your body. If your eye is healthy, your whole body is full of light. But if it is not healthy, your body is full of darkness.
Thank you, Peg. Thank you. Let me also say, and I'm not going to ask if you're new or et cetera, but if you are, we have a wonderful packet which our greeters and would be glad to give you. The packet explains what's going on at Unity in the Seven Hills and the Unity movement. And we really, truly hope that you will join us downstairs afterwards for a wonderful potluck celebration. Don't worry if you didn't bring food. There is always more than enough. And so we're looking forward to that. We're also looking forward now to some special praise music.
So we thought we'd just give you some instrumental music this morning.
Thank you, Daniel and the Unity Band. Wow. So now we come to the Whitestone Ceremony. And I believe that the Whitestone Ceremony is one of the most important things that Unity has added to the liturgy, along with the burning bowl. Everybody should have two things. You should have a stone which looks something like this, and you should have a Sharpie. Is there anybody who doesn't have? And our greeters will get you that right now. Here they come. And you folks online at home, what I would suggest you do, go get have a pen or a pencil and a piece of paper. Have a pen and a piece of paper. Later on, you can go outside and you'll find a beautiful, I'm sure you'll find a beautiful stone, white stone perhaps, which you can then transfer and write what we're going to be doing right onto that stone. So, everybody, good. So, let's remind ourselves where we've been. So first, we're in December, Advent, preparing for Christmas, and up comes Christmas. And we have very much talked about Christmas as being the rebirth of the Christ within. Rebirth of the Christ within. Again, it's not that, the spark is always there. But for many of us, it can get dusty, musty, and rusty. Ironically, a lot of times it happens when things are smooth sailing. Things are going along pretty well in your life. Not perfect, but going along. So, maybe you don't have to, the daily prayer meditation, that was great for a while when I was in crisis, but maybe now I don't have to do it as much or whatever. And so sometimes, ironically, when things are going well, that can be some of the times when we're really on a slippery, we're on a slippery slope. And so, but the beauty of Christmas is that there are, I don't know about, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who experiences, there are times during Christmas where it is so incredibly magical, where things, it is an incredible experience, and you really, truly do feel one with the one. You really feel that closeness with the Christ within, call it the Christ, Buddha nature, Atman, higher power, higher self. You really feel that alignment. And as the Christ comes alive in us, we start thinking, wow, I'd really like to clean up my act. I'd really like to clean up my, I'd like to, my God, I hear that story about Pamela going downstairs, Joan going downstairs, and the line of and I can never find anything, and it's such a clutter and disorder. I'd like to get this and all. And it's my temper, or it could be any number of things. And it's not somebody saying, you better do this, you better do that. And if you don't do this, you're going to be cut off from whatever. It's not somebody shaking a finger at us and saying, you better do this. It's internal. We want to do it. We want to clean up our act. The analogy, I think, is, it's almost like it's summertime and we're at a party or a gathering, and all of a sudden we start smelling something. And what's that? And it turns out we realize it's our deodorant that has stopped working, as it were. We want to clean up our act. And so for many of us, as the Christ starts to come alive for us, there are things that we realize, honestly, truly, are no longer serving us. And we'd like to get rid of them and clean up our act. That brings us to the burning bowl. That brings us to the burning bowl. And so we come to the burning bowl on New Year's, and we write down things which we would like to give up and get rid of and which are no longer serving us. And we burn them as we did. And I'm glad we didn't set the place on fire, unlike, I told a story about at Unity of Columbia, Missouri, when I did a burning bowl where the place almost went on fire. But we did it, and then it's not just what you want to get rid of, but it's very much important that those positive affirmations. I mean, Jesus oftentimes when he did healings would say, your faith has saved you. Your faith has cured you. And then he would encourage people to go get a positive vision. Because if you don't have a positive vision, what's going to happen? You know, they called them back in those days demons, whatever. I mean, a demon doesn't have to have, you know, a red tail and a pointy horn. I mean, it can come in many, many different shapes and forms. A great book on that is the Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis, where he talks about sort of modern demons, and they're not, you know, as it's almost like the Department of Demonology. You know, they work in it's almost like a Kafkaesque bureaucratic department. It was so 20th century or 21st century, but I think the point is clear that unless we have this positive vision, this stuff is going to come back. That's why we went back, and then as part of the burning bowl ceremony, wrote those letters, a positive vision of where we would want to be, put them in, sealed them up, put them in there. They'll get mailed to you in June or July. We go out of the church. Wow, we know what we want to get rid of, and we know we have a positive vision for ourselves. And then we run into the problem. And again, I'll make a crummy football analogy, but that's the analogy. We're now in the red zone. We've gotten the red zone. For those of you who are not great football fans, you get the ball within 20 yards of the goalpost. So you're close to scoring. But unfortunately, and statistically, this is often the case, the last 20 yards can be, that's why it's called the red zone. The last 20 yards can be really difficult to get. The field is compacted. The defenders are no longer having to defend huge spaces. It's only a small space they have to defend. So those last 20 yards a lot of times can be very, very difficult to get and to score with. And so you're there in the last 20 yards, and all of a sudden you realize you're not going to get the ball in the end zone. As I was talking about, sort of getting the ball to the 5-yard line and fumbling it. And that you're not going to get it in. This thing that you wanted to get rid of, it's still there. It's still there. If you have faced that situation, don't feel badly. The Apostle Paul felt and faced a very, very similar situation. And let's talk about the Apostle Paul, because if there were a spirituality hall of fame like the baseball hall of fame or the football hall of fame, Paul would be, not only would Paul be in, the spiritual hall of fame, but like if you go to the baseball hall of fame, there's not just a plaque or a picture to Babe Ruth. There's a whole, you go to Cooperstown, there's a whole room dedicated to Babe Ruth. The Apostle Paul in the Spiritual Hall of Fame would get his own, many scholars believe if it wasn't for the Apostle Paul, there's a good chance Christianity would not have taken off. Christianity would not have spread, and a lot of it is back to Paul. As a matter of fact, Eric Butterworth, that great Unity teacher, he was jealous of Paul, and he wrote about it. He said, for a while I was jealous of Paul. Paul got this great, road to Damascus experience and the light and everything else like that. Why didn't, Paul got 76 trombones. I would have settled for 10 trombones. I didn't even get 10. Eric Butterworth wrote that. So he said, he was jealous of the Apostle Paul. So Paul, by all accounts, really, truly was one of the spiritual greats. And yet, he wrote that, and this is Paul's words, Paul said that there was a thorn in his flesh, which no amount of whatever prayer, whatever he was doing, could get that thorn out of his flesh. Now, what the thorn was, there's been speculation. We don't know for sure. But Paul wrote, I keep doing what I don't want to do, and I don't do what I do want to do. How many of us have faced very much similar situations? I keep doing what I don't want to do, and I don't do what I do want to do. We in seminary called that Paul's do-wacka-do statement. But I mean, I think it captures, I don't know about you, it captures a lot of me. I keep doing what I don't want to do, and I don't do what I do want to do. And finally, Paul went through a long, dark night of the soul because of this. Finally, he felt Spirit saying to Paul, I am made great in your weakness. I am made great in your weakness. And then Paul said, when I am weak, then I am strong. Like Paul, when we finally realize that our frail and puny egos are not going to get the ball into the end zone, then we can break open, our hearts can break open to that beyond that is within. Then we can really start understanding that there's so much more inside of us than our egos. And that it's not our egos that are going to get the ball in the end zone. It is that beyond that is within, that spiritual dimension, that oneness with Spirit, that power. When I am weak, then I am strong. When I realize that weakness, wow, then something comes in, that spiritual power, which can get the ball into the end zone. Well, how do we get started doing this? How do we get started aligning with this stuff? Well, it comes from some very unfashionable ideas, which don't sound 21st century, don't sound cool, but they work. Words such as perseverance, seriousness, discipline. Discipline. Next he's going to talk about eating Metamucil and having spinach. Discipline and dedication. Perseverance. That when we are dedicated, seriousness, that when we are serious, I have found, again, if I am like, wouldn't it be, like I've said this before, if I were like the Beach Boys, wouldn't it be nice, blah, blah. It doesn't happen. But somehow when the quality of my prayers and thoughts change and I am truly serious about it, then the universe comes forward with the resources to accomplish what I could not accomplish before. And that so directly gets us to the Whitestone Ceremony, which comes from the book of Revelation, the last book in the Bible. It's a very complicated book. I love it how my main teacher of theology at Unity Institute and Seminary, Dr. Thomas Shepard, said, yeah, it's a complicated book, but it really boils down to don't give in to the beast. Don't give in to the beast. In those days, the beast oftentimes was in the form of Rome. There are many other ways where the beast can appear. But in it, the book of Revelation, the Christ says the following thing. For those who are really struggling, those who are really working at it with perseverance, with seriousness, with discipline and dedication. And don't think, my ego's going to be perseverance, it's going to be serious, my ego's going to be discipline, my ego's going to show. No, it's falling back on and realizing my ego's not going to get the ball in the end zone. It's claiming what God said to Paul, that God is made great in my weakness. God is made great in my weakness. And when Paul, and also leaning on what Paul said, when I am weak, then I am strong. The book of Revelation says, and this is really the positive good news. I will give them some of the hidden manna. I will give that person a white stone with a new name written on it, known only to them, to the one who receives it. And this new name and this white stone will give them the power to get the ball into the end zone. Let's first go back. Hidden manna. Remember the manna? So the Israelites, and again, I don't care whether you take these stories literally or metaphysically or some combination of the two. They're powerful stories. So the Israelites, they get out of Rome. They get out of Rome. They get out of Egypt, and they're on a peninsula facing the Red Sea. Pharaoh says, "What the heck did I do? Let's track them down and drag them back." So peninsula, and the the Egyptian army pushing forward, and it looks like the Israelites are going to be roadkill in a matter of seconds. There's the Red Sea. They're caught and stuck. Moses says to them, and again, I don't care whether you don't have to take it Cecil B. DeMille. I mean, it's a powerful story, and there's so much metaphysical truth to this. Moses says to the Israelites, stand firm. Just stand firm. God is going to fight this battle for you. Next thing you know, the sea parts, they cross, the Egyptians try to follow, sea comes back, Egyptians drown. The Israelites are now in the Sinai, free, and all they have to do is go into the promised land. So they're in Sinai. So they're looking around, where's the food? There's no Whole Foods. There's no Kroger's. Where are we? At least in Egypt, there was Whole Foods and there was Kroger, and we had plastic Visa cards and all. Now we're in the middle of the desert and there's absolutely nothing. And Moses should have, his tent, he should have put up a sign saying complaint department, line forms here, And so God says, I will give them manna. I will give them manna. In other words, their daily bread. Having faith that the daily bread would be supplied, and it was that manna. And what Moses also sometimes talked about was that hidden manna, sort of the extra special manna, the manna that has the extra special, power, zing, whatever. And God saying, I will give them the hidden manna. I will also give them a white stone, and on it will be a name, a word, which will give them the power to, move forward. I think very much of in the Old Testament, where, Jacob, the name Jacob really, if you go back to the Hebrew and all that, it's the supplanter. It's sort of the con artist, and that's what Jacob was. Then, wrestling with the angel, got a new name, Israel, one who strives with God, one who strives with God. A new name, a source of power. Now, the stones which you have here come from the Holy Land. They come from mines and quarries. Usually they're between Hebron and Jerusalem. And we're going to go into prayer and meditation. And what a lot of times comes is a word or something which you can write down. A word or power which is going to help you see you through, which is going to help you get that ball, as it were, into the end zone. Do you really believe that? Yes, I do. If God could tell that woman where the paint can was, can certainly tell you a word of power. I have known, in our household, we have a family altar in the living room, and we have a lot of these stones from past. It was so beautiful. Little Therese, she was 8 years old at the time when she went outside and started getting other stones to put on the family altar. These, I've heard stories of people, because we've gone to the family, that altar a lot of times, when push comes to shove, looking at the word, remembering it, remembering the promise, and holding to that, and moving forward on it. We've also, I've heard stories of people in congregations I've had the fortunate to be connected with, women putting the stone in their purse and carrying it around with them for the year, men putting it in their coat pockets. And remember, difficult meetings, difficult corporate meetings, or going through a downsizing or something, holding on to that stone, and invoking whatever is on that stone in the crisis du jour that you're going through. Sometimes this metaphysical stuff can seem a little airy-fairy. It can see, it's highfalutin and all that, and you have a stone which you can grab on, literally a stone which you can grab on. And I don't know about you, it's a talisman or whatever. Sometimes grabbing onto that stone is so important. I remember I was in a theology class at at Unity Institute. It was like 2 hours, and I came out, metaphysics and all that, my head is spinning. And this was the period I first got a new iPhone. This was the first iPhone I ever had that had Siri on it. So I pressed the button, I pressed the button. I said to Siri, true story, Siri, what is the meaning of life? And Siri, you usually, where's the nearest Pizza Hut? Boop, boop, get that for you. Boop, boop, the nearest Pizza Hut is down on Campbell Avenue. That's usually, so Siri, what is the meaning of life? Boop, boop, I'll get that for you. Boop, boop, comes back and says to me, true story, Siri said to me, the meaning of life is chocolate sauce. So, I mean, sometimes, these principles and concepts are, but sometimes, I don't know about you, sometimes I really want a God that has skin in the game. And I really do need a God that has skin in the game, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. Sometimes having a rock with a word of power is enough to get that ball into the end zone. It's enough to help you not fumble it. It's a help to get you to really, honestly, truly see yourself as being able to accomplish and do what needs to be done. And so I would say, we've talked, and we're going to be talking more about what comes from Reverend Tony Bain. Reverend Tony a lot of times talks about above the line and below the line, our levels of sort of spiritual thinking. I'm not going to go into the details of the dream time-wise, but a few weeks ago I had a dream, and I wake up, and where did this come from? It was just so negative, so below the line, it's important then to go into prayer and meditation, to be able to remember the power, to remember the Christ within. And through that, even just holding the rock, to be able to see your spiritual consciousness rise above the line. Rise above the line. Jesus said, I will build this on a rock. This rock that you literally will be carrying or having can truly make that kind of difference. And so, let's start going into prayer and meditation. Dear Spirit, we are so grateful that we are dealing with a God, with a Spirit that truly, honestly does want to communicate with us. That is willing and wants to give us that hidden manna. Wants to give us that stone, that white stone with a new name written on it. a word of power, a word that can help us deal with whatever issue, however large or however small. If it matters to you, it matters to me, says Spirit. I am made great in your weakness. When we are weak, then we are strong. And we can move beyond the situation of not doing what we want to do and doing what we don't want to do. And for this and so much more, we are so grateful and gladly go into the silence. Let that word or words come to you now. As the prophet Zechariah said, not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, says the Lord. I make all things new again. I love you with a steadfast love. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. But God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-control. The fruit of the Spirit is truly love, peace, and joy. In the beginning was the Word. I would say, don't worry if the word does not come to you right now. But I would suggest that you carry the Sharpie and with you. Have faith that in the next few days or weeks that word will come to you. If this word has come to you already, I would suggest that you take this time to be in gratitude, to center in that attitude of gratitude for our many incredible blessings.
The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. And all is well. Let's stand and sing. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well.
Thank you. Please be seated. Thinking about blessings, we are so blessed with so many incredible things happening here. I hope we used to call this section announcements. I'm calling it resources because there's so many positive resources here at Unity in the Seven Hills which can help you in your spiritual walk. This is not a complete list, but to see the complete list, go to unityinthesevenhills.org. That's all one word, unityinthesevenhills.org. You'll see the classes, events, etc., etc. We are looking, again, it's not just money. We're looking at time, treasure, and talent. And this is a very talented congregation. We're looking for several volunteers in several areas. One, our Sunday broadcast team is getting this message out. I mean, a few weeks ago, it was over 200. It was well over 200 people had watched the service. I mean, and for that's an incredible number. But it takes and it's not unusual for people to come up to me and say, I've been watching the services for X months, and now this is the first time I'm here. A lot of people, the first way we're going to meet them is online, and that's why so much of what we do is hybrid, both live and also online opportunities. But it takes a broadcast team, and thank you, broadcast team, for all that you are that you are doing. And if I could give a shout out to one person in particular, Erica, who has been coordinating this and doing an incredible job in doing that. We need a few more volunteers for the broadcast team. There's a sign-up sheet in the back. I don't know the technology. Don't worry about that. We're going to be having a meeting in January where we can train, and believe me, it is not that hard. And the broadcast team, I think, is so important to this ministry. Crystal, as we talked about, has been doing an incredible job. I loved it when we talked about our youth and family ministry has been growing faster than Santa's sleigh, but we could use some help. It doesn't have to be every Sunday, but even if it's one Sunday a month or whatever, there's a sign-up sheet in the back. And very importantly, we are still looking for one volunteer for a prayer chaplain. Please either speak to Sally Ingram or speak to me about this. Prayer really is the heart of the Unity movement. It was the heart from the beginning, and it's important. And we have an incredible chaplain team, but as I say, we could use one more. Tired of winter? Order for spring. Flower Power fundraising is back, and even though it's still winter, you can start looking forward to tulips. Just go to u7h.fpfundraising.com. That's Unity in the Seven Hills, FP, Flower Power, fundraising.com. Or visit our giving page. Deanna, I forget whether is that. Did you want to say anything more? No, you do. You don't. But okay, Flower Power speaks for itself, and the amount of money that it actually does raise for the congregation is significant. Next on the hit parade, the Unity Book Club is going to be meeting on Zoom this Tuesday, January 16th at 7 p.m. We're starting a new book called Evolution in the Bible by a wonderful Unity minister, Patricia Vinema. And it doesn't matter whether you read the first chapter or the introduction by the time that this group meets. The reason I think I'm going to be facilitating it, but I think it's important for many people. Let's face it. Many people in Unity the Bible's not their favorite book, to put it mildly. I mean, let's be honest. And it can be confusing, and the begats and everything, and it's not something it's hard to warm up to or whatever. When you start applying and looking at some of the latest advances in biblical scholarship, when you look at studies, both in science and also metaphysics and whatnot, on the evolution of consciousness and start applying this to the Bible, it starts unlocking a lot of things. And I've seen people who, quite frankly, were not warm to the Bible start to see it as an incredible treasure trove when you start understanding it through evolution of consciousness. When you start understanding it this way, the stories start to come alive, and you too can be almost like a Joseph Campbell in applying and looking at this stuff. That's what we're going to be doing at the Unity Book Club. And I honestly feel for so many folks in Unity, give it a chance. Give it it is worth doing, worth giving, looking again through these lenses at the Bible, because the Bible can become a powerful, powerful thing. There's a sign-up sheet in the back, or let the office know if you're online and you're not here to sign up for the book club, and we will make sure that you get the Zoom link. Another wonderful class that we have been doing is one-to-oneness, and Ari has been leading it. Let me turn the mic over to Ari. There we go.
Actually, let me add a few cool things. While we've been in service, we had a woman message us on Facebook asking about coming to visit and what kids programs we have. So we're expanding while we're sitting here, which is fantastic. Also, his book, Evolution in the Bible, that they're going to be studying, we have those on order. So we don't have them yet, but they are coming in. We'll have a couple copies for you. So one-to-oneness, we're going to be starting the Tao Te Ching, finding the way to release to the universe, to be in flow with just what comes, and be there for the universe and in your purpose. And that's going to be starting this Tuesday at 6:30. I could have sworn I changed that slide. It is actually going to be the second and fourth Thursdays of every month, and for months like this month, the fifth, or I'm sorry, not Thursday, Tuesday, the fifth Tuesday as well, if there is a fifth Tuesday, which there is this month. So come join us. If you're wondering what happened to meditation, it is now part of that. So we're going to continue learning mudras and mantras in our meditation practice as well. So we hope to see you there, but it will be recorded. If you can't make it, let me know. I'll put you on the email list.
Thank you. Boy, oh boy, this seems to be the service around paint. Whitney is going to be starting painting downstairs in the Namaste Cafe on Thursday. Could use some volunteers to help her. Whitney, do you want to raise your? There we go. And believe me, paint does matter. So please speak to Whitney. Also, Epiphany is come and gone. The Whitestone Ceremony. We love you, tree, but now it's time for you to go, whatever.
Away.
And we could use some volunteers after the potluck if you want to come up and help us with some ornaments, putting it away. And we don't expect to get it all done right after the potluck, but we want to have it down. So next week, when Daniel is leading us, it will be without a Christmas tree in the back. The other group which I really want to mention is All Things Mystical and Metaphysical, led by Pamela Smith. It's on Wednesdays, both online and here at 1:30 p.m. It is, an incredible group. And I can't get there. You say, well, we record it and we can get you the link so you can actually see the service. Also, we've been something new, conscious dancing. We had the first meeting of it this Friday. It was wonderful. It really, really, really honestly was wonderful. And I'd ask Amajin, could you come up and say some words about... Amajin has been leading it, and it was, the first session was just so wonderful.
Yeah, so conscious dance. Dance is really a primal human need. It's one of the things that people have been doing for as long as we've been people. And it's something that in Western culture has now kind of been marginalized, pushed to the side. We are all so wound tight with shame and ego around dance. that we adults only dance drunk at weddings or clubs. And that is something that conscious dance or ecstatic dance, which are slightly different, which I can share more about in class, is really aiming to reverse, to kind of unwind that tightly wound spot in you that needs and wants expression and integration. And what dance really does is it integrates your soul, your consciousness, your vibrant living energy with your physical body. So it's one of the most healing and grounding things you can do to come to conscious or go to ecstatic dance, and just be present in your body without shame, without judgment. It is not about looking cool. It is not about being a good dancer. It's not about looking at or judging anyone else's style of dance or decision of when to move or not move. It's about self-awareness. It's about presence with yourself. It's about getting out of your body and integrating into your body what's asking to be integrated. And so I've decided that the next few weeks, because this is new to a lot of people, or there's a confusion around what is conscious dance and what is ecstatic dance, I'm going to run the next few Fridays more of a workshop style. And so I'm aiming for this to eventually become a co-op. I don't want to be a permanent facilitator. I'm not taking any payment for this class. I just really would like to get a co-op going. And so what I'm going to do is run the next few Fridays like a workshop. So if you're feeling interested but a little like, I don't know, a little nervous, scared, like you don't know what I'm talking about or what it's going to look like, I'm going to try to walk people through it a little bit more. And we're going to kind of go song by song and then stop and kind of have circled like discussion, talk time, which in the future is going to be reserved for the end of the meetup. It's going to be largely a 90-minute dance followed by a communal circle of connection and sharing. But yeah, I decided I'm going to run it a little bit more like a workshop with a little more structure, facilitation, to get people feeling more confident and like they're really grasping what it's all about. So I hope you'll all consider coming out. I'm excited to get it going here. I really would like this to be a community outreach event also. So if you have any friends who just love to dance or you know anybody who loves to dance, please share it with them. There's no religion involved in this. So it's just, we're really grateful to Unity for letting us use the space. And yeah, hope to see you all there.
Thank you. Let me say, I a lot of times feel awkward dancing, and I had such a great time at the conscious dancing. Give it a try. I think it really is a wonderful addition to what we are doing here. Thank you, Amit-Jean. This Thursday, 6:30 p.m., we are blessed to be having another kirtan with Gina and Gershon. They'll be back to host another kirtan. We're asking for a $25 love offering so we can support them and welcome them back. But don't let don't let the dollar sign keep you away. All our pleas are welcome, and we look forward to seeing you. And so again, 6:30 p.m. this Thursday, Gina and Gershom, their kirtans are just really wonderful, and we're blessed to take the chairs to the side and to just open the sanctuary space to a wonderful song and response. Our prayer chaplain today is Sally Ingram. There's Sally for individual prayer. Come on up. Don't forget fellowship, food and fellowship potluck downstairs. We're looking forward to seeing you downstairs. And now, one of my favorite songs, Something Wonderful. We're going to be asking, the greeters are going to come up as we come here, give your donation or whatever, or vibes. Your vibes are positive vibes are really, really important. Take time by the Unity candle and then take an affirmation. A lot of times, the affirmation will just be just the thing you need to hear. So, Something Wonderful.
Here we go, something wonderful, Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no it won't let go. All this love inside, we can let it shine out. Yes, we can. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no it won't let go. All this love inside, we can let it shine out. Yes, we can. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no it won't let go. All this love inside, we can let it shine out. Yes, we can. Something wonderful happening to me right here, right now. Oh, I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no it won't let go. Something wonderful. So, hope you guys are all dancing out there. All right, so let's do the blessing of these gifts. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. United in mind, body, and spirit, I dedicate these gifts as they grow to bless our community, our neighborhood, and our world. Let's hear from the youth program. What the kids doing?
Today we got to do some meditation cards and some affirmation cards that were donated to the youth, and they really did a great job. They did independent coloring while I was doing the meditation, and they seemed to like it. And then we went wild and crazy, and the room is a disaster.
And let's do the birthday song. So anybody who's got a birthday this month, come on down. I'm going to represent from up here. It was my birthday on the 5th. So anybody else? Okay, January babies. Nathan as well. Okay, and anybody out online? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, we love you. Happy birthday to you. And many more. And let's close now with the peace song. Yes, there is peace. Hey, before we do, it's a new year, it's a new you. I've got a request. When we take our step forward, let's just live in that closeness to other people and not step straight back. Because it's a new year, it's a new you. Let's step into the future. And if that means being a little closer to your community of friends, that's even better. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be.
with God as creator, united all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, yes, this is my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. And every step forward. See you downstairs.